Hello, this is Dr. Marilyn Steniken, and today we are going to explore the four models of educational environments. The models we'll look at today will be the traditional face-to-face classroom, the web-facilitated or web-infused classroom, the hybrid or blended learning environment, as well as the online environment. Traditional face-to-face. So this is the classroom that we're used to as children. All learning is done in a brick and mortar facility. It's all classroom based. There is a teacher-directed agenda. All of the learning took place through direct instruction by the teacher or printed material. But students had direct access to the faculty and peers at all times. This face-to-face format seems to fit best for these learners. Those in early education where students transition from home and go into a classroom that is teacher-directed. Younger populations where there are few family and career obligations outside of school, students in an area where internet is not possible, learners who thrive on personal contact, those who need constant reinforcement, instant gratification and feedback, and certain religious or cultural groups that have restrictions on technology. The benefits of face-to-face learning are that you can read someone else's emotions, their understanding, and that helps to reinforce your own learning experience. Face-to-face gives instant clarification. There's a sense of satisfaction for a lot of students at the time of the interaction. There's a real-time sharing of perspectives. There's always student support, and it's building relationships that can help in networking in the future as well as building trust now. But there are challenges to face-to-face. All material is shared orally or in written form, which limits the amount of information that's available. There's no global connection. It is tied to time and space, meaning that you have to be in a specific building in a classroom at a certain time. Travel issues do come into play, but there's always that disconnect from the outside world. Web-facilitated classroom is our next forum that we're going to look at. This is where you have the traditional classroom setting, but students have the ability to use the internet to do activities or to gain resources. Management systems are used to post assignments and grades, but this still functions within classroom time constraints. Appropriate learners are those students that have access to the internet within a classroom, learners that still need personal guidance and oversight but are computer literate. This is the perfect environment for homeschool. Students with faculty who build good web searches and quests into the curriculum. Student populations where IT provides enough broadband to supply access to students. And it's perfect for learners in districts where financial commitment is made. There are many benefits to web-facilitated learning. The personal contact is always supportive and instructive. Faculty can directly influence what's going on in the classroom. Students are accountable, but they are still functioning independently. It helps to encourage global citizenship. There's a wealth of information that cannot be gained just from print material in the school library. This type of learning fosters student independence while being in a controlled environment. It allows students to use the iterative process independently, and it helps to build computer literacy. Challenges of web-facilitated learning. Students must be computer literate. Faculty must always have a plan B ready in case the internet fails. Been there, done that. This type of learning demands attendance in a brick and mortar facility. Student output depends mostly on well-designed lessons. Students must have internet access at home if assignments are going to be given. Very little flexibility with time and space. And this is a very important one. Districts must make the financial commitment to maintain and upgrade web access and technology. Hybrid or blended learning environment. What is hybrid or blended learning? This is the environment where most learning takes place online through discussions and assignments. There are occasional face-to-face encounters. The assignments may be synchronous, where you have to all be online at the specific time, but most often students work asynchronously and independently, especially when doing assignments. Course management and feedback is always conducted through web-based system. Mature age students are drawn to this particular type of learning format because it can fit nicely in with family and career obligations. Those students who have proximity to a learning facility so that the online The benefits of hybrid learning. Student-faculty face-to-face always builds that sense of trust and camaraderie. There is always a support base. Social cues help in reinforcing understanding for both faculty and students. There's flexibility for the learners who do have some responsibilities outside the classroom. Permits personal time management when doing your assignments. There's less of a need to travel, and there is a wealth of online material to supplement that classroom engagement. Challenges of the hybrid learning format. It does require proximity to a brick and mortar facility. It assumes that all students are digitally competent. It relies on good web access for all. Support and feedback may not always be immediate. As with any online discussions, the communication between students can be misinterpreted or misconstrued. And it works best, if all learners have the same level of commitment to online engagement to support their peers. The online learning environment. That's the one that we're engaged in right now. Distance learning occurs totally through internet connection. Course content, assignments, and feedback are all delivered online. There is no face-to-face engagement. Role of the teacher is now a supportive mentor. And course material, of course, includes global resources and is not limited. Appropriate learners are those that are digitally capable, students who do not feel the need for face-to-face, self-motivated learners and good time managers, students who have outside responsibilities, those who wish to be part of a global community, and students with no proximity to the brick-and-mortar learning institutions. The benefits of online learning. There's no need to travel, minimum time constraints, most work is done asynchronously, you have global perspectives from students all over the world, can still connect personally to others through FaceTime and social media. It promotes autonomy and self-awareness, and it collaborates with learners that are sharing similar aspirations and goals. What are the challenges? Who really is completing these assignments? I bring this up because I had a friend whose father completed all of his online courses for him, and then the father stood up and applauded while his son received the diploma. Online learning requires students to commit to coursework so that discussions can be interactive and productive. It helps, I believe, to have a cohort that's a little larger because having few members in a cohort makes it challenging to go back and forth and have real good, vibrant types of discussions. All students need to be comfortable with technology. You always need to have good web access, and feedback is not immediate. We are at a point where we will soon be designing our own online course. One of the questions in this assignment was to decide which one of these learning models best fits our own style. When I was in the science classroom, I would have to say that the web-infused or web-facilitated environment was perfect for a science classroom. I would give some direct instruction, and then I would design web quests or activities that allowed students to explore through the inquiry method and find their own conclusions based on the basic information they were given. It worked very well, students were very responsive, and it was, to me, the best of both worlds for middle school students. For myself, I would have to say that I would prefer the hybrid type learning format. I tend to thrive on social connection, but I don't believe that I need to have a face-to-face encounter. I think using FaceTime or Skype would be one way that I would have that need satisfied. I do love the flexibility of the asynchronous assignments, but I feel that we've got a very small cohort and there's not a lot of give and take. That I miss. When we look to design our own classes, we need to consider certain material when we're looking at the target population. Age, gender, ethnicity, how close students are to brick and mortar facilities, the students' goals, their previous academic success, and are they ready for the course commitments? Here we have a chart by Stravrids and Herder. This helps to identify the characteristics that guide us when designing our own online course. And it's helpful because it gives us key questions to consider. And now we're ready to begin. Looking forward to starting my own online design, and thank you for watching my PowerPoint.